Hello everybody, I'm Teldo, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to burst with a Darkrunner and just the general gameplay and playstyle of a Darkrunner. Um, a lot of people ask me about this, especially people who are just new to the class, but the burst or rotation, what they usually ask, is very simple as a Darkrunner. There is no real rotation, but there is a certain burst that you kind of want to work towards to. There are two very common bursts. One is using Stalker's Mark. Stalker's Mark basically just increases the damage that the target takes by 21% for 15 seconds. Definitely helps with the burst. It also combos up with your Overwhelm, making your Overwhelm, instead of stunning the target, trip the target, which is incredibly useful because Trip has no stun break. Like, no one can break Trip unless he uses the PvP cloak, but stun can be broken by Auramancy guys, so if you run against Auramancy guys especially, that Stalker's Mark is going to be really useful, especially against other Darkrunners or Primeevils, for example, because they use that. And yeah, Stalker's Mark into Overwhelm, and then you have to stand right behind your target and use Shadow Smite and Precision Strike. Those two abilities, as I'm going to demonstrate now, have really high burst, and many people ask me why I run Shadow Smite. Shadow Smite deals a lot of damage if you actually backstab with it, because it deals 600% melee attack damage. If you just hit them from in front, it's only going to deal 1 damage. So yeah, recap on that. You use your Stalker's Mark, Overwhelm, Shadow Smite into Precision Strike. Let me demonstrate that real quick. Can't really show it exactly on dummies because they can't be CC'd and stuff, but that's pretty much your simple burst, and you kind of want to work towards that. You can also do it without the Stalker's Mark, then your Overwhelm will just stun, and you can knock your target down if it is stunned with Shadow Smite, and it will also deal a little bit of extra damage on stunned targets. And then follow up with a Precision Strike. If you have dual wield and your target is not a plate user, you can also use stun into Precision Strike into Shadow Smite, and the stun won't wear off until Shadow Smite hits, and that way you will trip them, and you will get the maximum duration of CC that you can get pretty much. So you could use something like this, bam, Precision Strikes, Shadow Smite, and then you can just charge again and triple slash again, and that way you knock them down again. And a good thing that you can do after the combo pretty much always is just use triple slash and kite away like that, because triple slash hits on range. It has a very long, if I don't have the swiftness buff, it has a very long attack animation, and it attacks 3 times, and even if you kite away you will hit all your attacks on range. So I basically just try to hit people with that burst and then kite away afterwards. It is hard to hit that burst, especially if a target uses stuff like Redoubt or the parry ability, Battle Focus, because they have a very high chance of just avoiding it. So what you can do stuff to increase your chance of actually hitting it. You don't want to waste your burst if the chance is not very high to actually hit it. So you can try to hit a leech on the target if it's not a witchcraft guy. That will sleep him, and if he's slept, he cannot parry, dodge, or anything. And then you can just burst them down. Make sure that you hit your Stalker's Mark beforehand, though, if the target has Auramancy, because otherwise they can just stun break out of your Overwhelm. And yeah, you just try to burst people somehow. You can also use your charge before to immobilize them. It immobilizes them for, I don't know, 1 point something seconds. And that also helps a little bit. You can also try to hit targets from behind, because from behind they can't parry either. There are a lot of things you can do to decrease the chances of your opponents actually parrying your burst, because if your burst just doesn't doesn't hit, I mean, you will be in trouble. A lot of Darkrunners, like a lot of people in general, say Darkrunners are very easy to play, and they're easy to pick up, and I agree with that. But that's pretty much only because the burst is not that hard to hit. But it's hard to make it like really hit reliably over and over again. And yeah, outside of that, you will have to rely on your Tiger Strike pretty much, and your charge and triple slash for damage, mainly because you don't have other damage abilities really. So you can use Tiger Strike to jump to your target and then backflip out again and stuff like that. You can also just like keep charging at your target and in between, you can always try to kite away. At the end of your triple slash, you have a chance of resetting your charge, which I just got there a second ago. So you can just like keep doing that, charge at them, and like every time when one of your two abilities is up, you can just go back in again and maybe combo it up with a triple slash again. You can also like shadow step to a target and use the triple slash and kite away instantly again. A lot of people can't really handle that. They get really confused and they can't react to it quickly enough. Good people will obviously be able to react to it, but it will always like hinder them a little bit and make it a little bit harder for them to catch you, and that is especially useful if you do that in group fights. You need to be mobile, and it needs to be hard for opponents to actually catch you, because in a group fight, when multiple people are around, the only thing that is going to really shut you down and really destroy you is if a other melee actually gets you into their burst combo, like their stun, into Shadow Smite, into Precision Strike, because that way it's not just a lot of damage, but you're also CC'd for a while and everybody can just keep attacking you, and you will die during that time. So make sure that you just avoid all of that stuff. Make use of your battle focus and your sprint. The battle focus will help you to stay in combat. That way you can face other melees, because you have a pretty high chance of parrying their stuff. If it's not up, try to stay out and try to kite around a little bit more. And yeah, that's pretty much how you play Darkrunner. I mean, it's hard to explain everything. It's also important that you use your bond breaker and your stun correctly, and there are just so many things that you need to use at the right time. But if you put a lot of time into playing Darkrunner, and if you try to improve and try to review what you did wrong and why you died in the fight before, especially 1v1s that will help with that, you will end up being a really good Darkrunner at some point, and you won't just rely on your big burst to actually kill people, because oftentimes I can also just kill people with my normal attack damage, and I can avoid so much damage that oftentimes they can't kill me. It doesn't really work against everybody, like Dream Breakers or Defilers might just kill you with their instant spells anyway, but it helps a lot and you can just mitigate a lot. But yeah, Darkrunner is super fun to play. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. And that was pretty much it for this video, and see you guys next time. Bye! I can't type /wave quickly enough. Here. It didn't work. Bye.